welcome to Laird Wellness Live. Scott Laird.
Jodi Laird.
As if you didn't know. Anyway, happy to see you here. We've been very busy last couple of weeks. I am just looking at now, approving, sort of looking over the videos that we just did for our 8-week Biologic Blueprint program. Jodi and I, we did videos before, kind of in this kind of environment. 6 different videos, things everyone kind of needs to know. And we decided to do that in the studio and do this kind of more professionally. So we have like graphics on the screen and everything now, and it's all done in a studio from A Rude Awakening. So that is getting ready to be done right away. And I just signed up somebody today who's going to get the first opportunity to see that.
Nice.
Which is really cool. So you'll get to see it too. So we'll talk more about our program in just a little while. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you how, if you want to sign up right now, here is how you get a hold of us. You go to lairdwellness.com/8weeks. So the number 8 and then weeks followed afterwards. And that is how you can take a look at our program. All the details are there. There's a whole graphic of what it's all about. And then you click a button and it sends an email to us letting us know that you are interested. And of course, in that email, you can write anything else you want to talk about. And then that way we can kind of skip right to, hey, we know that you're ready and we'll contact you and away we go. And it's brand new. It's 8 weeks now.
Right.
And it's got, and the most wonderful thing about it that we talked about last week was the new 8-week meal plan. Right. Something people have been asking us for a long time. We never had a meal plan to go with us. We don't think of that because people say, well, I want recipes, and we never think of recipes because we don't do that.
We don't eat that way. No.
Yeah. But we're like, okay, we'll take a look around, and we found this awesome program. And I just went through it with a person today, this person who signed up.
Yeah.
And what we did was basically shared the screen. We did a Zoom call, and we get to go down this list of foods. Do you like avocados? Yes or no? Do you like this? Do you like that? Da, 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 da. Mm-hmm. And even, are we going to do any kind of intermittent fasting? You can actually turn off one meal a day, or as many meals a day as you want, to try and figure out how to orchestrate this and still intake all the calories you need. Super cool. So that is part of our program now as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, that is.
How long did it take to fill out all that stuff?
That was like 10 minutes.
Oh,
10
easy.
Minutes. Yep. We just did it together and went, yep, no, yep, no, yep, no. That was it. Boom. And then, of course, it's a huge undertaking to get 8 weeks of recipes together. So once you click the button, it takes like 3 or 4 hours for those things to come through. But when they come through, we'll give them to you. But yeah, so it's really exciting. All right. So tonight, excuse my voice. I've been doing all kinds of talking this week. I had a 2-hour interview, which, by the way, is on our group page, Laird Wellness, Make Your Health Make Sense. If you're not part of that group, go ahead and PM me, private message me on Facebook, and I can get you hooked up on that. There's over 500 people in that group.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this was a 2-hour interview from a guy who just started a great new podcast about a Father's Flame, I think is what it's called. And it's faith, finances, family, and fitness. It's four F's. And it's a really good podcast. He's just started out. I think I'm like episode number 2.
Cool.
So this is cool. Got in on the ground floor. So if you want to see it, you can just go to my Facebook page and go specifically ask if you're not part of our group, be part of our group, and it is sitting there, one of the bonuses for our group. So tonight we want to talk about sweating. Sweating, deodorant, antiperspirant. What's this thing about breast cancer and antioxidants? Is there anything to it? We're going to look at some studies, determine for ourselves whether it is or not. And then we're going to get into excessive sweating and what you can do about it if you are suffering from that. One of our previous Biologic Blueprint program participants emailed us and said, my husband, he has an issue with that. I want to learn that tonight. Right. So you're going to learn that tonight, and we're just going to go through methodically and show you all kinds of stuff. And we're going to try and keep it a little bit shorter tonight. We know that 1 hour in the evening is probably something you don't have time for, or whenever you're watching this. So we're going to keep it short. We're going to try and be done here in about 22 minutes. So we'll be done in about half an hour total. All right, so first of all, breast cancer. So most breast cancers occur in the upper quadrant of the breast. They're not down below, they're kind of up here. So it's kind of like, why is it always happening up there? And has it always happened up there? Well, it's happened more up there since antiperspirants became a thing. So is it directly connected? Well, I don't know if we can call it a smoking gun or not, but more research is needed to see. There's some, honestly, some studies that say yes.
Okay.
Others say no. And the others that are saying no is because they're looking for a direct correlation. Like I said, that smoking gun, that's really hard to do with a cancer. You can't really have cause and effect with cancer because it develops so slowly over time, several different factors. So the real question is it a factor? And that is still under investigation, but some studies are saying yes. So we're going to show you what some of these studies said. So, excuse me, what is the problem? Well, the problem is that when we put antiperspirants on, toxins are not allowed to leave the body. Okay, so when we go to the bathroom, number 1 or number 2, obviously that's getting rid of toxins. If we feel ill after a meal and have, like an episode, a food poisoning is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, okay.
Then, of course, bringing that up is getting rid of toxins. But so is, even when you're sweating or even other like acne is the body's attempt to just push out toxins any way it can.
Right.
And of course, if you block sweating, well, you're keeping the toxins in. So is that really what you want to do? And if the toxins stay in, where are they going?
Right.
Like our lymph system gets rid of toxins. It's sort of our garbage trucks of our body. And so that's why wherever we have a lot of sweating going on, there's lymph nodes there. So what happens is if we block the sweat glands with antiperspirants, particularly aluminum and parabens, we'll get into that in a second, it backs these things up into the lymph nodes. Well, the lymph nodes are infamous for taking toxins and spreading them around the body, including cancer cells. That's one of the things they do is they see that cancer is in your lymph nodes and they will take the lymph nodes out to basically just get rid of the garbage trucks, which if you get rid of the garbage trucks, garbage is still being produced, but you're not taking it anywhere. So I'm not sure that's a good situation either.
Right.
Anyway, we're going to take a look at this. So here's one study, for example. Underarm antiperspirants and deodorants and breast cancer. So the difference between the two, of course, is the antiperspirants have aluminum and parabens. And sometimes even the deodorants have parabens, but they don't have aluminum. Aluminum is what keeps the sweat inside the body. It's what blocks the sweat glands.
Right.
So that's the big difference, okay?
Yeah.
So now here is the conclusion of that study. So they said in the blue there, you can read the rest, you can pause it, when this is recorded and take a look at the rest of it there. Basically, they said, this has been going on since 3500 BC.
Wow.
Yeah, so some,
cosmetic products.
Cosmetic products, not necessarily underarm deodorant, but in the blue, the effects of long-term usage of mixtures of these chemicals, as you can read later if you want, over an entire lifetime by people of all ages across the whole world, as you can see, this is why they're having a hard time figuring it out, warrants retrospective investigation. So in other words, they don't know just yet. And it just says on the next line, if use of underarm cosmetics is a factor in the development of breast cancer, then options for prevention could at last become a reality, et cetera, et cetera.
So really, is it saying anything?
It's saying that they looked and, looking for the smoking gun didn't work. So now what? And now there's another study here. And these were all websites that I came across on a website that was promoting cosmetics.
Okay.
So they're very honest and they just said, yep, here's some and here's some others. And so we're going to try and show you both. So that one, of course, is inconclusive. So we don't really know. But here's something interesting. This is from 2003. Excuse me. An earlier age of breast cancer diagnosis related to more frequent use of antiperspirants, deodorants, and underarm shaving. Okay. So now we have another factor here.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Because underarm shaving, what that does, let me just come back to you here for a second and explain that. Ladies, when you shave the armpits, or even guys, the guys shaving the chest now and the armpits and wherever else to when you're going to the gym and want to accentuate your muscles. So what that does, the hair protects your body from the toxins. It will collect some of those toxins, right? The hair will. It's there for a reason. Even you think of hair on the back for guys and on the legs and that kind of thing.
Up your nose.
Yeah, well, even on the surface of the skin, it protects you from the sun, right? So, and then the nose too has different properties. So you should never get rid of all the hair in your nose. Which I hate that too. You just want to cut it short, but you're really allowing toxins in because those hairs they filter things out.
Right.
It's a filter. So don't completely take away your filter. So anyway, when you are doing that on your armpits, you're kind of taking away the filter. So there is the correlation. They're combining two things here. It's not just the chemicals in the products that we're using. It's actually shaving and then putting the stuff on. So what did they figure out when they did that? Check this out. In the blue, frequency and earlier onset of antiperspirant deodorant usage with underarm shaving were associated with an earlier age of breast cancer diagnosis. How about that?
Wow.
Very interesting. Underarm shaving with antiperspirant and or deodorant may play a role in breast cancer. Okay, so this study went so far as to say it may play a role. They obviously found something, and maybe they weren't so sure about it, but at least they came out and said it.
Right. Wow, that's kind of freaky.
Isn't it? Yeah. And what's interesting is the piece of it that I didn't highlight, maybe I should have, right after the yellow. It is not clear which of these components are involved, or dare I say, maybe both. So,
well, I mean, if you are shaving your armpits and then putting antiperspirant on right away, I mean, common sense says you've actually opened up more of the pores with your shaving, so you're getting actually more of the aluminum in, not just on those sweat glands.
And not to mention, inflammation from the shaving itself.
True.
So, and that, I mean, that would go for guys too. You know, if we're shaving down here, I've got this kind of permanent red down here from shaving and that kind of thing. If you do that and then you put on
anything,
cologne or like lotion or anything like that, it's kind of going to have a negative thing as well.
Full of chemicals, for sure.
Right. So now here's another one particularly regarding aluminum. Okay, so here's another study regarding aluminum. So aluminum, antiperspirants, and breast cancer. In the yellow, the effects of widespread, long-term, and increasing use remain unknown, especially in relation to the breast. In the blue, aluminum is known to have a genotoxic profile capable of causing both DNA alterations, and epigenetic effects, those things that are above genetics or not related to the genetics. And this would be consistent with a potential role in breast cancer if such events occurred in the breast cells. Now, why are they saying that? So check this out here. Yes, there's more. This abstract was quite long, so I cut it into two parts. So here's the bottom half. In the yellow, results reported here demonstrate that aluminum in the form of aluminum chloride or aluminum chlorhydrate, which are both found in antiperspirant products, excuse me, can interfere with the function of estrogen receptors.
Wow, yeah.
Okay, so now we're getting another clue here of MCF7 human breast cancer cells. Further studies are now needed to identify the molecular structure of this action, the longer-term effects of aluminum exposure, and whether aluminum can cause aberrations to other signaling pathways in breast cells. So what are they saying? They're saying that shaving increases absorption of chemicals of antiperspirant, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
And if it has parabens in it as an ingredient, that's even worse.
Yep.
And what does it do? It increases estrogen. Well, why is that bad? Increasing estrogen is a risk for breast cancer.
Right.
Now we kind of have a smoking gun. So they've tied it to the receptors, the breast cancer cells. Let's read that again.
And I am learning some things about estrogen, and that estrogen itself is not, a high estrogen itself is not causing breast cancer, but if you're out of balance. So your estrogen is way higher than your progesterone, and just everything is out of whack, which this is saying if you're making your estrogen a lot higher, yes, it can affect that. And
so let's take a look.
Yeah.
So it says again in the yellow that these aluminum products can interfere with the function of estrogen receptors of MCF7, human breast cancer cells. So there is some correlation here. So what do you do? Okay, so these toxins can accumulate in the lymph nodes, not good. But you still want to smell bad, so what do? Well, you find a deodorant. Now, there's all kinds of places online where you can find how to make your own. I find that's kind of messy. I mean, you're doing...
I've tried that before.
Yeah.
I have bought some that I've gotten at certain fairs, and it worked for a while, but it was a little messy. I liked it, but I had to put it on with my fingers, and that was not very fun.
Yeah. And then, it's like, no. And then there's the rock. Remember the infamous...
Yes.
What was that called again?
Some sort of crystal something or other, but it never worked for me at all.
No, my mom swore by it, but I'm like, I don't know about that. So anyway, so you want to find a deodorant with good ingredients. That's what we do at home. I mean, I'm going to show you one here that we use. So, and we actually sell it. We actually had a special purchase of this. Happened to stumble upon this, and we thought, hey, let's offer it to you guys, because guess what? This deodorant, if you find it in Walmart now because of all the supply chain disruptions, this stuff is $9 at Walmart and even more at other stores. So I thought, oh man, we got it at a price where we can give it to you a heck of a lot cheaper. So as you can see there, I put what Walmart is advertising it at $9.99. We can give it to you for $5.95. I've had women order. There's some orders sitting right over here across from us. They're ordering 4 and 5 at a time.
Yes.
Because it's worth it, And we couldn't sell this stuff in the summer. So we're, why is it back now? You might remember that we had this in the spring. We couldn't sell it in the summer because its main ingredient, which we're going to see in a minute, is coconut oil. Well, coconut oil melts at high temperatures. So when we were sending it out, there's one place we sent it to in Texas. I think that was a problem.
You're right.
It melted in the mail, and it arrived to them melted. So now that we're in cooler weather, now we can send it to you again. We still have it. We just kind of hung on to it for the last 6 months.
Right.
But anyway, that's kind of funny. But anyhow, so now you can get that stuff. Now, what are the ingredients in this deodorant? Now, we have it right here. There it is right there. This is the kind that... now, Jodi, you switch on and off with certain deodorants. Are you using this one right now?
No, actually, I just switched off of it this week because I like to switch it up every once in a while. So I will go to a store every once in a while and buy a deodorant just to switch it up. But I use this one all summer, all spring, up until this week. Yep. Now, I've switched it up. I'll switch it up for the remainder of what's in my thing, and then I'll switch back. Just because I think after a while... I don't know, you become more accustomed to it and then it doesn't work as well. But if you take a break from it, it'll work just as well.
It's kind of like when we do intermittent fasting.
Or probiotics or
anything you got to switch things up, right? The body gets lazy after a while or kind of expects what you're going to do and kind of it doesn't work as well. So anyway, this is obviously for women, the vanilla rose scent.
Yeah, it smells great. I love the smell.
Now there's one for guys that I like to use. It's called, the one that works for me. See, there's a whole bunch of other scents. I've tried other ones. There's lime and bergamot. There's cedar. None of those work for me because the magic, for me at least, I don't know whether it's because of a guy's chemistry or if it's just me, but several of the Schmidt's varieties include magnesium. That ingredient seems to work for me. Yeah. Now, some of them have it, some of them don't. So I have one that's called magnesium charcoal, and that one works really good. So guys, if you're looking in Walmart, and Walmart does have this, you look for it's gray. It's a instead of having pink accents, it has gray accents. Yep. And it's called magnesium and charcoal.
And it's in the men's section, isn't it? The men's deodorant.
Yeah, and it's with all the natural stuff like Tom's and all the rest of it. And there are some good ones out there. But what do you have to do? Like we always say, turn it around, read the label. So let's read the label. Okay, so here are the ingredients. Now, why do they have ingredients in French there? Okay, I'll tell you a little secret. In Canada, they must have labeling of equal size in French that there is in English.
So are we saying this is from Canada?
No, but this is a company that wants to sell to Canada. So in order to sell to Canada, they must follow the rules.
No, it's made in Canada.
This one's made in Canada?
Yes, look at the bottom right there.
How about that? Distributed by, Schmidt's USA. Okay, interesting. Okay, but you will see some products that want to sell in Canada. They do that. So if you ever see that, that's just interesting. That's why, because Canada has 2 official languages. All right, so we have magnesium hydroxide. Okay, so if I wanted to smell like a rose, that one would work for me.
Right.
And then we have, I like what they do here. Even though those things may sound chemical sounding, they are very clear to show you what these things actually are. So, coconut oil, arrowroot powder, shea butter, fractionated coconut oil, which is nothing more like the MCT is like fractionated coconut oil, baking soda, Candelilla wax. Okay, if that's how you say it. Natural fragrance. Okay, a bit of a mystery there. We're not sure what's in there, but you know what? They're paying attention to the rest of it, so I can't imagine it's anything bad because it is eco-certified on the front, and that is a third-party verification that you know that they're actually doing some good things. Excuse me. Jojoba esters, vitamin E, sunflower-derived, and a couple other things, squalene and beta-citrosterol.
What's
which I'm not
squalene?
sure what that is.
I've heard bad things about squalene. I'm not sure what that is.
We'll have to look that one up. But anyway, that's the Schmidt's deodorant that we happen to get a hold of, and we have some for you. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and order it. It's on the front page of lairdwellness.com. Yes. All right, so that is Schmidt's. And now let's get into what is excessive sweating. We have just a few minutes left here. So it's called hyperhidrosis.
Yes.
So hyperhidrosis is a term used to describe excessive sweating that affects the body's natural temperature. Okay?
Yep.
So there's some interesting advice we're going to have here at the end. It can occur in several different areas or throughout the whole body. This is thought to affect about 5% of the population, including one of our former biologic blueprint couples. According to a 2016 report published in the Archives of Dermatological Research, about 15.3 million people in the United States alone experience excessive sweating. Interesting. So it's going to appear in several parts of the body. So we have different areas. So this, it may just be on your hands, or maybe just in the armpits, or maybe it's all over the body. So it can appear all kinds of places. So on the head and face, under the underarms, hands and palms, the groin, the feet, and secondary generalized hyperhidrosis, which is basically everywhere. Now, there are some root causes of this, believe it or not. Now, check this out. This was news to me. So we have some functional root cause factors of excessive sweating. Most of these graphics tonight come from one of my favorite doctors, Dr. Jockers. You can go to his website at drjockers.com if you want to read his whole blog post about this issue, and it's quite an extensive one. So a lot of good information there. There's one particular part of this I find particularly interesting. I'll show you in a second. So insulin resistance. If you have high sugars, you're more prone to excessive sweating. Also, if you're menopause, well, that one's kind of obvious, right? Hot flashes and things like that. So hot flashes, this is interesting. Some stuff I found a little bit later. I'll show you, Jodi. This is neat. It was particularly important for women. Because men don't get menopause.
Right.
That was a silly statement. Okay, so vitamin D deficiency. Okay, that's news to me. That can cause excessive sweating. Vitamin B12 deficiency, heavy metal toxicity, food sensitivities and intolerances, Chinese medicine.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the one I thought was really interesting, and that's the one that Dr. Jockers has a lot of detail about in his blog post on this. And, of course, too much heat. Well, that can cause excessive sweating. That would cause that for anybody. So food sensitivities can also be, as we mentioned there on the bottom row, in particular. So there are certain foods that are more prone than others. So sugar, well, that would relate to the whole insulin resistance thing. Gluten, that would also tie into the insulin resistance. Even dairy to some degree. Soy would play into the menopause and the hormone balancing.
Right.
Because some folks are kind of sensitive to that regarding their hormones. Corn, there we go. Another sugar kind of product. Eggs, okay, that's interesting. Shellfish, well, we eat biblically clean, and we know that is not something we're going to eat.
Right. Absolutely.
Chocolate, okay. Again, some people love chocolate, other ones stay way far away from it. Coffee, same thing there. Nightshade veggies, aha, okay. Again, there we are, kind of a thyroid connection. Mm-hmm. And spicy foods. Well, spicy foods, for anybody, kind of raise the temperature. Speaking of that, okay, check this out. There is a list of hot and cold foods. So you eat the hot food, and this is not temperature as like, cooking food. These are foods that inherently have either a cooling or a warming effect.
Right.
Like peppers do. Peppers are kind of obvious. So look at the hot ones. Black peppercorn, cayenne, cinnamon, cloves, red pepper, garlic, ginger, horseradish. So if you have circulation issues, that your fingers are always cold, your toes are always cold, I get that quite often.
Yeah.
I should be eating more of those food.
Right.
And that will warm me up. And then the warm ones, the cool ones, well, you can look at that. You can freeze frame this later and take a look. But look at the cold ones. So bean sprouts, bok choy, cucumber, grapefruit, tomato, watermelon, blueberries, raspberries. So these are the things that will cool you down.
Right.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
What I found really interesting is look at the ones that are there that would be harvested in the summer. Pineapple, raspberries, blueberries, watermelon, tomato. All of these things, a lot of those things have lycopene, right? And lycopene helps your body deal with the sun. And if it helps your body deal with the sun, my guess is it would also help your body deal with the heat. And lo and behold, there they are on the cooling list. How about that? That is really interesting stuff.
So eat in season,
eat in
as
season,
we always
right?
say, if you can.
That's absolutely right. Okay. So now this thing about Chinese medicine, I'm going to read you something here. This is from Dr. Jockers. According to Chinese medicine, too much warmth, including warming foods, may cause an imbalance and excessive sweating. We saw that on the list. To help balance your body, he recommends eating more cooling foods, including green leafy vegetables, lettuce, kale, raw veggies, bitter herbs. Getting the point here, all harvested in summer. Yep. Mustard greens, dandelion, chicory, sweet fruits, strawberry, watermelon, cold drinks. Okay, just drink something cold. Iced water, peppermint tea. There you go. Interesting. So, also, excessive hydration or excessive sweating requires more hydration.
Yeah,
because you're sweating those things out, and you probably want to be taking a mineral supplement, like at least magnesium, because you're going to sweat out all those electrolytes, right? So remember our golden rule for making water, not just water, but half a gallon to half a teaspoon of Himalayan salt.
Right.
Some lemon. I put some magnesium in there, maybe some iodine. And that becomes my water. So there we go. Oh, and some MSM.
Right.
Also very good
Yes.
as well. So that is better. That's sort of a homemade Gatorade, better than just having water. So there you go. Now we teach all this kind of stuff in our 8-week program. Take a look at this. So we introduced this last week. Look at all the stuff you get there. And yes, you get all kinds of things to help you, but the most important thing is you're going to feel amazing after this.
Absolutely.
This is a life-changing thing, because not only is it going to help you, get over issues that we see in your blood work, you're going to have healthy habits over the lifetime, because you're going to have 8 weeks of this, getting this ingrained into you. And this is going to follow you for the rest of your life. You're going to be able to, you're going to make a habit of going to the grocery store and taking a look on the back and seeing what it says. All that kind of good stuff, right? So all kinds of good stuff there. Take a look at it. And if you want to join right now, just go to lairdwellness.com/8weeks.
Right.
And you can take a look there. There's all the details and why, all the reasons you might want to do it. Then click the button. It'll send us an email. Let us know you're interested. We'll call you. We'll talk on Zoom or the phone or something like that. We'll give you all the details, how it works, and then you can sign up right away. Right. We want to do it that way, because if we just put it on our website, it doesn't give that personal touch. This is a coaching program. It's you and it's us, and we want to get to know you, because some folks, they may sign up for this and we kind of go, this is not right for you. It's not going to work. So you got to be diligent. You got to want to make this happen, right?
Right.
Because we can coach you all you want, just like a coach can, coach a baseball player. But if the baseball player doesn't put in the effort and doesn't listen and apply and do the things he's supposed to do, he's not going to improve. Same thing with this. Right. You got to be willing to actually go for it. This is for folks who are saying, enough is enough. I want to change my life. We will help you do that. Just go to lairdwellness.com/8weeks. Hey, thank you for your time and attention this week. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time on Laird Wellness Live. Have a good one.
Take care.